Hey y'all, and welcome back to KateMas, and if you're new around here, hello and welcome. My name is Katie Marie. This is KateMas, where I upload every single day in December, and today we're going to be having some fun swatching my eyeshadows, my single eyeshadows, I should clarify. I did a video like this a couple weeks ago where I swatched a lot of my grungy single greens, and I wanted to follow that up and swatch the rest of my single eyeshadows that are green. That way you have the whole collection and you guys can see all of the single eyeshadows that I have that are the color green. And it's an embarrassingly large number. I started this after a subscriber kind of put out a request on Instagram wanting to see a bunch of grungy greens swatched side by side, and I was like, you know what, that's a great idea. I can swatch out my whole collection, and that way if you are curious or interested in purchasing some singles, you can see them all swatched side by side, because it's really hard to buy singles on a website from a ton of different brands because you never know, some saturations can just be different, so it is helpful to see them swatched next to other like colors. So today we're going to be swatching, as I said, the rest of my greens. Most of them are bright or very dark greens. A couple of them honestly probably should have been with the grungy greens and I just totally missed it. And there are a couple of pastel greens. So it's going to be a little bit varying when it comes to greens. They're not all very bright greens, but I wanted to finish and round out swatching my single eyeshadow green collection, and I already did the grungy greens, so everything else is going to go in this video. There are a lot of single eyeshadows to swatch, oh my goodness, so we better just jump right in, and yeah, let's quit talking and just get right to it. Alright, so once again, I have zoomed in rather close. I hope this isn't uncomfortable, but that way editing this is just a little bit simpler. I don't have to keep cropping in close after the editing. I'm already nice and close. So with that said, let's go ahead and jump right into the first section of greens that we're going to swatch. And those are going to be all of my eyeshadow palettes that I own from indie brands that you can purchase separately. So all of these, and then also this Ofra, it's the Bright Addiction palette. These all, you can purchase them as a palette, but you can also just purchase the shadows individually, so that's why I want to swatch them out as well. And all of these have some other type of green to them. So let's go ahead and start with the top one, which is Whale Song. I swatched the majority of this in my grungy green because obviously it's a very grungy green color, but I don't think I swatched Fluke, so that's why I'm going to be swatching it here today. Forgive me if this is a repeat, but I feel like I remember not swatching Fluke. Yes, I could have looked this up before, but I totally blanked and I just was like, oh, bright green, I'm going to swatch it. So we're going to swatch it again today. So let's just put that right up here. Fluke is definitely more of a flaky formula when it comes to Menagerie Cosmetics. Let me get another dip. But it's one, if I remember correctly, I didn't mind working with. It's not too terribly flaky, and you can get to work, and it gives you a lot of shine. Like, look how pretty that is. I'm so sorry if my nails look dirty. I was working out in my little garden in the garage today, and I did not scrub my fingers probably for as long as I should have, and there's a little bit of dirt still stuck under. Oh, so hard to get them out. Anyway, next up we have the Menagerie Cosmetics Pastel Pup, and I'm going to be swatching these two greens. We have Flipper and Iceworm. Again, I think I'm labeling this video my bright greens, but there's going to be a lot of greens in here that are like pastel or almost the verge of blue-green, but I want to swatch them in here because I feel like they go with the greens. So I hope that's okay, but we're going to do the first one here, which I think was Flipper. And then Iceworm. I'll have to double check this. I need to just leave the palette up. Yeah, Flipper and Iceworm. Yeah, Flipper and Iceworm. So there are those. Those all go together really nice. Next I have Strobe Cosmetics, which is Shroud Now, their Creepy Cute palette, and I'm going to swatch the Creep It Real and Take a Hint, because I feel like both of those, the Creep It Real, again, is one of those shades that's like, is it blue, is it green? It's like that perfect mix of the two. Again, this palette, for me personally, is very difficult to pick up, but it performs beautifully on the eyes. Anyway, this is Take a Hint. See, it just doesn't swatch that great, but like I said, it's great on the eyes. And this is Creep It Real. We got a very pastel green going on here. Next up, I think for the last palette I have from Ofra, it's their, as I said, Bright Addiction, and I'm going to be swatching this shade and this shade. And you know what? Again, is this a green? Is this a blue? I'm going to swatch this one as well because it really does look like this shade is swatched from the Creepy Cute. So when I do my blue, swatching on my blues, I'll probably grab the same shades again just so you guys can see them compared to blues, because it just depends on what color they're worked with, whether it looks more blue or more green in my opinion. This is Lime Green. Then next we have Ocean Blue. Oh, this is even called Ocean Blue, so oops. But see how close it is to that other shade? Yeah, these look really blue on camera, but in the palette it kind of looked green. And then we have Bright Green. Like I said, when I swatch my single blues, I'll probably be grabbing both of these out again to swatch them. But it's hard because like when you actually look at this shade next to the blue, I feel like it looks more green. It's looking a little washed out on camera, but in person it looks like it's that perfect in the middle. It could be blue, it could be green. So hence why I thought it might be helpful to swatch them. I'm sorry if you don't think so. Okay, next I have this palette which is full. Let me show you guys. It's an Ivette palette. So it has like two sides. This side actually is everything that I swatched in my previous video. Like I said, I'll have a link to the description box, but these are all the grungy shades. I actually missed a couple that we're gonna swatch today, because like I said, I'm trying to like complete and round that out. So I'm so sorry. I will have a couple that I kind of deem grungy, but here are the majority of just the greens that we're going to be swatching. Again, a couple in there that I feel like depending what they're near, they lean more blue or green. Like I feel like I put this with the blue and it just looked more green, so that's why I stuck it in here. So I figured, again, I'll just swatch these with both my collections so you guys can kind of see the difference, but we're going to swatch all those. I got a couple down here that actually didn't fit in here. And then, like I said, these are the grungy greens that I totally missed when I did my other one. Don't ask me how, I'm just not the best YouTuber. So anyway, like I said, I have a bunch of singles that didn't really fit in the big Adept one, so I want to do those now. I'm going to do Give Me Glows. This is Spring Break and Mint to Be. These two greens are a part of their, what's it called? Pretty and Pastel bundle that they're bringing back as a palette. I'm so excited, but that's where these two come from. So we have Spring Break. Oh my goodness, their shimmers are one of my faves. So beautiful. And then Mint to Be. Such a good formula. I was so impressed with these for pastels. Honestly, at this present moment, my favorite pastel formula is from Give Me Glow. Okay, then next I have this from, what is it called? Silhouette Boutique. It's in the color Jade. I'm gonna swatch that right here. Gotta keep looking at the viewfinder. I'm gonna be looking at the viewfinder a lot because I gotta make sure I'm in frame. And then also from Silhouette, I have Viola. I feel like I'm mispronouncing that and it's something a lot more obvious and common, but that's how I'm pronouncing it. I'm so sorry. But it's like a deep green. There is that one. These two from Silhouette, I still haven't had a chance to try at the time of me filming this, but they're newer to my collection. I also have Coastal Scents Teal Green. Again, this is a shade that, you know, I look at it, I'm like, oh, that's blue, but then I put it with the blues and I'm like, oh my goodness, that's green. So I'm just gonna swatch them. Yeah, see, that kind of looks, I think, greenish. Next I have also from Coastal Scents is Vibrant Lime Green. This I almost swatched with the grungy greens, but I was like, it's called Vibrant Lime Green. It just seemed weird to swatch it with the grungy greens, so I decided to save it for this video. Make sure I'm in frame. There's that. Ooh, I love this type of shade. Definitely not Vibrant Lime Green, but whatever. I also want to swatch this. This is M Cosmetics Highlighter in Firefly. It's one of those iridescent highlighters. Obviously, it is a highlighter, but it's those type of green. I'm going to put it up here just so you guys can really see. Oh, so beautiful. Like, it just looks like a very bright highlighter, but in person, especially from this angle, you see a lot of green. It's one of my favorite green highlighters because it's one of those highlighters that doesn't just scream green on your face. It actually looks really natural, but in the reflex, if you pair it with a green look, it's so beautiful because it gives you that green reflex. So I know it's a highlighter, but I wanted to swatch it because I always like to use this for my inner corner when it comes to doing a green look. It's beautiful. I think it's an inner corner highlight. Okay, my battery just died, so if I'm in a different position, that's why, but I think all I have left is this right here. We swatched everything else. This is going so much faster than the grungy greens. I think it took me like well over an hour because I kept having to stop or pause because Levi was in the room. So anyway, here's what we have so far. Varying shades of green. A lot of them are just like pastel, could be blue, could be green. But now let's go ahead and dive into this big guy, and I'm just going to, I mean, I guess I could have grouped these a little bit better, but I kind of sort of did. We're just going to do the best that I can. I'm going to start with the lighter shades and then work my way down here to the bottom to the darker. These bottom ones, again, depending, like, I feel like some of them just look so dark you can't see it, but in person they're definitely more green leaning. And then this shade is one of those shades where it's like, it could be blue, it could be green. So I'm just swatching it with these today to show you guys the difference. Okay, first up we have ColourPop's Keep Scrolling. I gotta double check. Yeah, ColourPop. ColourPop's Keep Scrolling. The name wasn't obvious, and I want to make sure I'm not saying the wrong thing. But this is like a neon shade. They released a couple neon shadows. I think it was not last summer, but the summer before that. There's what it looks like. Not the most pigmented, but it's also an odd color, so it's hard to pick up on camera, I would say, because it doesn't look too terribly, and it just looks kind of dry on camera, but it doesn't look that bad in person. Next up, I don't even know why I'm swatching this. This is from Laura Lee, and that palette that I think was called like Party Animal we got in a BoxyCharm. I ended up popping this out because I like the yellow shade. It's like a pastel, but still kind of vibrant yellow. Now that I've tried more yellows, it's not a very good one. But I remember at the time, I wanted to keep it, well, it just dropped on the floor and cracked. So I'm probably gonna be tossing this afterwards because I just don't want to bother. But yeah, you can't even see it. It wasn't that great quality. Anyway, let's move on and I'll pick that up off the floor later. Next up, we're going to do from Terra Moons. This is Neverland. I will say that this is reformulated now. So heads up if you're gonna buy a new one. I think they improved the formula. I'm not saying that the new one's bad, but just as a heads up, I got this before they reformulated. Wow, that is bright. So beautiful. Okay, what should I put underneath that? That was so intense. Let's go ahead and do this shade. This is from Kristen Lee in the shade Bitter. This is a beautiful shimmer. I don't know if I should be saying like shimmer and matte, or if you guys can tell easy enough on camera. Ooh, so beautiful. I have a whole video on Kristen Lee's Mean Green collection. I think I did 5 different looks using all of the shadows in her collection. It was so much fun. I loved every one of them. I'll leave that linked up here if you want to go see it, but her shimmer formula is amazing. Okay, so let me see. I kind of want to just swatch these two together, so I think I'm gonna squeeze this one because I thought that they were kind of similar. This is from Sydney Grace in Tempest. I'm gonna put that right underneath there and make sure I'm in frame and in focus and all that good stuff. Yeah, those two are pretty similar. Maybe I'll scoot in, zoom in afterwards, but I feel like this one is more of a, I don't know, more of a true green. This one has the tiniest bit, the one from Kristen Lee, just the teeniest bit of grunge to it. Maybe not as much color. It's a little bit more sheerish looking. Anyway, we've reached the end of this arm. Let's swap over and do this arm, and then I guess if I run out of room, I'll do the back of my arm. And I know I look pretty dark, but also since we're swatching so many bright colors, I don't want it to wash it out. But let's go ahead and move on to Coastal Scents Python Green. Such a cool name, Python Green. We'll put that right there. Next up, I'm going to grab this from Menagerie Cosmetics in Electric. Kind of seems similar to that Coastal Scent shade, but obviously just the formula is way nicer in my opinion. I don't even know if you can tell on camera, but there's so much more pigment to the Menagerie one. Okay, let's go ahead and do Limeade from Give Me Glow next. Oh, this shade is so fun. Such a fun color. Next up, I'm going to do Lemon Lime from Give Me Glow. I really, really enjoyed Give Me Glow's formula, both their mattes and shimmers. I just find so beautiful. They have such fun colors, such bold colors, and such a good formula overall. Not that they're not without fault, but just, you know, each brand has their quirks and whatnot. Each brand has their strengths and weaknesses, but I feel like overall, both the matte and the shimmers, I like them from Give Me Glow. They're just so solid. Next, I'm going to swatch Lethal's Vertex. Yeah, this formula, the shimmers from Lethal are a lot finer, I would say, but still really pretty. It's definitely a lighter color, but the saturation is there. I think the color overall is just lighter, so I think that's why it's coming across so faint on camera, but it is a really nice formula. Next, I'm going to go in with Bay Breeze from Colored Rain. Sometimes it's so hard to find the brand name on the back of these. I'm like, wait, who is this by? Goodness knows I can't remember. There's that shade. Again, a more of a finer formula when it comes to the shimmers. Really, really pretty. I'm trying to kind of select these and loosely group them together, but next I'm going to do Kristen Lee Savvy. This shade, if you guys like glittery looks when it comes to your shimmers, like a lot of glitter reflect, that's this shade right here. For me, it's more of an eyeshadow topper because it's so sheer, or not even just sheer, just, yeah, it's kind of sheer, soft color, whatever you want to call it, but the amount of glitter and sparkle you get when you have this on your eye, it's beautiful. Next, I'm going to go Sydney Grace's Springtime. I'm going to pop that right here. This shade is also really faint, not faint, but like a more of a sheer, softer color, but really pretty. I'm going to swatch G-A-E-A. I'm not really sure how you pronounce that. There's no name brand, but this is from Chrisana and Cosmetics. I'm pretty darn sure. Ooh, that shade reminds me of this Give Me Glow one here. Am I pointing at the right spot? This one right there. And even this one up here, which was, what was that from? That was from Menagerie Cosmetics Fluke. Kind of reminds me of that. I don't even know if you can see that. A little bit. I think this one looks more blue. This is a shade that kind of looks blue until you put it with the blues and then you're like, oh, that's green. So next I'm going to do Sydney Grace The Shallows. So pretty. That's a gorgeous shade. Hopefully it's helpful to see these all. I'm trying, like I said, to group them now. Probably should have from the start, but loosely group them together and swatch the light colors together so you guys can see. Let's go ahead and do this next. This is Kristen Lee and Lighten Mint. This is a minty shade. I'm gonna put that right here. That's really pretty. Really great formula. Next we're gonna take Sydney Grace Mint Green. And I'm gonna put that right here. This shade definitely looks blue next to all these greens. All right, next we're gonna take this Kristen Lee Mojito. Just swatching all these greens, especially like Kristen Lee, I just remember how much fun I had when I used her shades before and did that video. They're such a good formula. I really enjoyed them. Then I'm gonna take Curious from, once again, Kristen Lee. Did I show you guys? Curious. I'm gonna pop that right here. That shade really looks like that shade, doesn't it? Yeah, those two look very similar. I'm gonna do this one. This is a multi-chrome. JD Glow's Seaweed. So this one, I mean, I think it shifts to blue. So it's a blue-green, like literally a blue-green. So I'm gonna swatch it here. I grabbed way too much. I'm gonna swatch all across here so hopefully you guys can see the shift. I think it just looks very green on camera, but in person from this side, I can really see the blue. Okay, oh, and I almost forgot. I'm gonna also be swatching my grungy greens that I missed in the last one. And even ones could be described as a grungy yellow, but it kind of looked green when I stuck it with the yellows. Again, I'm gonna swatch those at the very end because I'm definitely gonna be running out of room. Next, after that, what should I swatch? I'm gonna swatch some of the darker ones next to it because this is Kristen Lee Endeavor. Kind of makes me think of that multi-chrome I just swatched. So we'll swatch them side by side so you guys can see. Such a good formula. This is a shimmer that usually I don't like working with shimmers in the outer corner, but I absolutely didn't mind with this one because it's such a good formula. You know, I think I'm just gonna work my way across here kind of like I did. That's what we're gonna do, just so I can try and fit them all relatively together and it's relatively easy to show you guys. Next I have Fathom from Kristen Lee Cosmetics. Let's put this one more right here. Yeah, it definitely looks more like a steel blue almost, but there's that one. My arm is getting heavy, y'all. Whew, it's hard to hold it up for that long. Next, we're gonna go with Indulge, Kristen Lee Cosmetics. This is another one that has so much beautiful, beautiful glitter on it. I'm gonna put that, make sure I'm in frame, right here. Oh, so beautiful. Very pretty. Okay, next is Sage from Dandelions Co. He doesn't put his name brand on it, which I kind of, or like, you know, the name of the brand. I kind of wish he would because Mama doesn't have a great memory. And then the last really dark green matte is Thrilled from Sydney Grace. I'm gonna swatch that right next to, those two are so close. I would say Sydney Grace is more blue leaning and then the one from Dandelions Co is more green leaning, but they're both that dusty deep color. Okay, now let's go into these two right here. This is from Coastal Scents. It's Prehistoric Green. It's like a bright matte green. That right here. Should have known I need at least 2 dips, maybe even 3 because it is Coastal Scents. There, that's better. Then after that, I have this Palm Tree from M Cosmetics. Let me know if the video is too dark for you guys, or if you like it to be a bit darker so that you guys can see the colors better and, you know, have it stand out on my skin and not just all blend in. Okay, now moving along, we got a couple more bright greens and then we'll finish up with the grungy greens on this side. I'll move back over, but here is Kristen Lee's Shamrock. I think this might be the last Kristen Lee. There's a lot of Kristen Lee. She had a big collection with that mean green collection. Okay. Oh, so beautiful. I grabbed way too much. Let me smooth it out. There is that. Such a beautiful shade. I feel like I'm dipping lower and lower because my arm is so heavy. I also have Limegrass from M Cosmetics. Alright, gonna try to keep it nice and high so you guys can see. Ooh, that shade. Reminds me of some up here. Very pretty. Then I have JD Glow's Chartreuse. Move that hair. Here we go. Ooh, that's such a beautiful shade. It's been a little while since I've used that. So pretty. Reminds me of like these shades except a shimmer. It's really pretty. Alright, and then I have Limelight from Makeup Geek. And that's going to be the last one on this side. And then we'll finish out. This is an older, like before Makeup Geek rebranded or whatever you want to call it when they just changed up their formula. So I wasn't too impressed with it. I bought it on sale. But yeah, there it is. Just really soft and more of like a, it's not, more of like a satin to me almost. It's just so soft. Okay, let me switch over and we'll do a couple of the grungy greens on my other bicep. Okay, let's start it off. I'm going to do this shade. This is Courtney from Divina Cosmetics. This is that one that could just be labeled as a mustard, but when I put it with the mustards, I was like, oh, it's got a lot of green in it. So I'm going to swatch it. And probably, like I said, if there's any of these borderline shades, I'll probably end up swatching it whenever I do the other one that is borderline with. So I'll swatch this with my like yellows and stuff. But there is that. I'm so sorry I forgot these in the other video. Couldn't believe it. This is ColourPop's Tea Garden. This is one of those, it's like a green, reddish, brown, duochrome type of shades. Yeah, neither one of these looks very green yet, but they're definitely grungy, and depending on what you pair them with, they can look a little green, hence why I'm swatching it with the greens. I hope that makes sense. If not, just take these as bonus swatches of grungy colors. This is very similar to the shade I just told you, which, did I even say this is Ritz from Makeup Geek? Ritz from Makeup Geek looks a lot like that shade Tea Garden from ColourPop. But Ritz is deeper and ColourPop's brighter. Next I have Havoc, also from Makeup Geek. Yeah, from Makeup Geek. This is like that true blue-brown. So why I'm swatching it for greens, I don't know. I'll swatch it with my browns too. I guess maybe my blues, since I just described it as a blue-brown. Okay, last step. This is JD Glow's 365 from their Galaxy collection. It's like one of those really dirty golds, but it has that hint of green to it. So that's kind of why I usually store this with my greens, my grungy greens. Oh, this is so beautiful. Really, really texture accentuating. So when you put it on your eyelid, I have to be very careful, but there's no denying that. Oh, looks like liquid gold. Oh, so beautiful. Okay. There are all my swatches. These really, none of those look like a grungy green. So take this as a bonus one. Yeah, maybe if I swatch these with my grungy greens, it wouldn't look so crazy. But next to all these bright greens, it's like, Katie, none of those are green. So take a good look. I'm going to probably just erase these before I make a mess. And then we'll get a shot of all of the other bright greens. But there they are. I absolutely love that shade. It's so beautiful. A pain to put on the eyes and not make it look like I'm 1,000 years old, but no denying it's absolutely amazing to look at on your arm. Okay, we're done. Let me see if I can show you guys all of my arms. Okay, so here is the first arm. These are definitely more pastels. We got a couple bright shades down here. This one definitely looks a little blue, but here is these. Ooh, so beautiful. And then we have, let's not fall off my stool, but then I have all of these. A lot of bright greens, more deep blue greens, I would say, than the deeper type of greens. Again, some of these deep greens kind of look like they could be blues. And then a handful of other bright lime greens down here. Yeah, these shades could kind of have gone with those, but there is that. So if you want to take a screenshot to really zoom up and look. And as I said, I'm not going to like write the name for all these whenever I do the video, just because it would be too hard to like put them there and make it easy to see. So if you see anything you like, you can just rewind to the video wherever I swatch that one and I say all the names. All right, as I said, that is the video. Those are all of my single eyeshadows that are green in my collection, most of them bright, some of them borderline blue, but those are the rest of my green single eyeshadows swatched out for you guys so you guys can see them compared close together. And hopefully if you're looking to shop some greens and you don't know which indie brand to go for, maybe this will help you decide, especially seeing them compared to other shades, decide which one you want, if you want it to be more of a blue green, more of a lime green, more of a grungy green, matte shimmer, all that sort of thing. So let me know if this video was helpful for you guys. I really do want to know if I'm being helpful or if I'm just wasting your time with a video that has no value to it. Definitely feel free to let me know down below if there's any way I can improve these or whatnot. So yeah, that's gonna do it for today's video. If you enjoyed this video, let me know that down below in the comments. I didn't say in the beginning, but I am doing a giveaway all month long for the month of December. So if you want a chance to win, all you have to do is go to this video right here, or I leave it down in the description box. And if you want to follow me over on Instagram, my name is LadyKatie92 over there, and I upload about every day. And yeah, with all that said, I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye guys.